Second. Sorry, I'm a little bit late today. 'Tis the season. It's just been really busy, and I actually forgot that I was going to go live tonight. And I was looking at my watch. I was like, "Oh crap! Well, it's time to go." Anyway, welcome. And it looks like this is working. Hopefully. I know it. Like I said, it takes a second. Anyway, um, there we go. Hello. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, it's Christmas week. It's a big week. It's as usual, there's a lot going on. As usual, I am getting buried in all of the everything just came in all at once. Getting buried in all of the news stuff, and yeah, the chat should pop up. Hi, Nancy, Dennis, Madam Medusa, Anita, Lala, hi. Terry, hi guys. So yeah, Rachel, hi. Yeah, so it's been a busy week, and I am just kind of. I know yesterday was a big day for a lot of people. There were a lot of there were a lot of energies yesterday. It was funny. I was going through my Twitter and I was like reading all of the ascension symptoms that everyone was going through, like, oh my God, my ears are ringing, my whatever. My dog started floating. And so, yeah, that was fun. I wasn't really feeling anything yesterday. I was feeling kind of, I don't know, I was feeling kind of energized yesterday, to be honest. And I don't know if you guys saw any stars or any pictures of the Christmas star or whatever, the conjunction. I saw some pictures. I didn't see it in person. I went outside and I was like, well, is that it? Is that it? And then it was cold, so I went inside. Australian Patriots, here for American freedom. Where we go one, we go all. Keep the fight up, mate. Prayers for you and your family. Thank you, Salty Yoda. Hey, Ascension Diaries. My friend. Awesome. Yeah, so I don't know if you guys, somebody in my neighborhood got a picture. They have, I don't know, I guess an incredible telescope to the point where you could actually see the rings of Saturn. I should post that picture. It was so awesome. You were super happy yesterday. Hola. Yeah, I was in a pretty good mood yesterday also. Scotland supports President Trump. Free the truth, Trump 2020. Awesome. I love Scotland. There are a lot of Scottish patriots. I've made a lot of friends this year, last couple of years, from Scotland. You could see the moons of Jupiter. Yeah, this picture. Hi, Rob. Yeah, this picture was insane. I've got to post it. At first, when I looked at it, I was like, is this fake? You know how they get me all the time. I wouldn't have known. I would have posted it and somebody would have been like, actually. And I would have been like, oh, okay, sorry, guys. But it's pretty, it's pretty awesome. And I have an app on my phone where you can like hold it up to the sky and it will tell you what planets you're looking at. I should have thought of doing that, but I didn't. Just so much on my brain, you guys. But at the same time, it's been nice not having to like put all my links together and be on top of what has been happening. I'm kind of leaving that to IET, and we're kind of turning that into what we do, what we cover on We the Media. And this, like I said, I just like having this be a hangout for now. We'll see how this will go. But I kind of like my Tuesday nights as just like hanging out with you guys, checking in, maybe going over some books I'm reading. I'm currently reading a couple books that I don't want to share. And I know that sounds weird, but there are a couple books I'm reading right now that I don't want to share. But starting next week, I'll be getting back into reading books that I will share with you guys. And I'm not coughing. That's right, Wayne. My cough is gone. Thank God. So just got in from looking through the telescope, saw the moons of Jupiter and Saturn's rings. That's so cool. So yeah, the photo I saw must be real then. It was really good. I am going to post it. And what else? Mythical. Hi, Bethlehem Star. What's the app? The app is called, hang on guys, I will look for it. That's a nice thing about well, there are many nice things about not going live from my phone anymore, but now I can have my phone in my hand. I think it's this one, Starview. Skyview, sorry, Skyview. I would show you, but I'm afraid of what everybody's, you guys know how you guys are. I'm gonna find all the weird stuff that I have on my phone and you're gonna pick it apart. Oh, like Goat Simulator. Every time my kid downloads something to his iPad, it goes to my phone. So now I've got like 6 version of something called Goat Simulator where you like lick things. I don't know. It's a game. Apparently it's super fun if you're 5. Hi, Margaret. Thank you. Hello from West Michigan. Awesome. Hi to Michigan. Greetings, Kate. How are you today? I'm doing pretty well. Good. A clear picture, Mythical. I don't think you've been here since I got a real camera, like a real live camera, I'm a real boy. It's snowing here. Oh, wow. God, I think it was like 72 today here. Christina has Goat Simulator. Thank you. So that should be our new app. That'll be where we all like correspond. We'll just get rid of Twitter and we'll all start talking to each other on Goat Simulator. Hi, Justin. Do I know Turkish? I do not. That's freezing for AZ. Yeah, yesterday it was like a very frigid 62 when I went outside to check the temp, and I had like bare feet and a tank top on. I was like, ooh, it's cold. Hi from Finland. Awesome. Oregon. Awesome. Yeah, so what else? Gab TV just went live last night. Yeah, I heard that. I still haven't messed around with Gab very much, but I hear good things about it. And correct me if I'm wrong, but that one doesn't have an app, right? I think you have to use it from a browser. So I think that was one of the reasons that I hadn't messed around with it. Today's longer than yesterday. Things are looking up. Hello from San Diego. Hi, Brad. And hello. And yes. So it seems like it's gone kind of quickly. Well, maybe when you live when it never really like snows or gets cold, the winter goes by really quickly. And but I'm not really a winter girl. I like to visit weather. I don't really like to live in it. I like to be in snow for like a couple days. Yesterday, you had a bird poop on you while your son while you were buying a waffle. Well, I hear that's really good luck. Oh my God, I have a funny story, but I don't think I can tell it. The Vatican's nativity scene is Egyptian gods mixed with Star Wars hidden meanings. Google it and you will freak out. Interesting, Rachel. You like my new camera better, Mr. Fox. Thank you. I like it better too. Declassified gateway experience. I've never looked into that. I will check it out. It has an app. Okay, Gab does have an app. You just have to download it from the site. It's not at the App Store. Oh, okay, awesome. Waffle House. Oh, okay, you got pooped on at the Waffle House. Gotcha. Doesn't everyone get pooped on at the Waffle House? I've only been there once, really. Everyone's like, oh my God, it's the best. It's the best. It's not the best. It's really not. I've been weird about food. Do you guys ever go through periods where like just food doesn't sound good? It's just like you do it because you have to, but it's almost medicinal at that point. That's what I'm going through right now. Oh, Buffalo, New York, huh? Welcome, Michael. Did you see the Pope is supposed to step down after Christmas? No, I haven't seen that. How are the Lions? They have not been back, unfortunately, at least not from what I can remember. So I was saying, I can't remember where I was saying it, but I had a dream the other night about lion beings. And that night, actually, it's weird because if you guys know who James Gilliland is, he's like, I don't know, he kind of is somehow connected to the lion beings. And so anyway, I had this dream about the lion beings. And then the next day I wake up and James is like what did he say? He's like, oh yeah, you came into my dream last night. We were doing clearings, or you popped in before I fell asleep, or something like that. Like somehow I met up with James that night. And then I had this dream about the lion beings. And then I found a giant whisker in my bed. You guys know I have no animals. You guys know where my animals are. So I don't know where this giant whisker came from, but it was really cool. I've been having just a very strange mix of super terrifying things happen and really cool things. But the thing about the terrifying stuff is that it's the weirdest thing. Like, I'm not afraid anymore. I used to be the biggest coward on the planet. And for some reason lately, I'm like totally fearless. So it's weird. And I don't know if that's like a good thing or a bad thing. Should I be that way? Was that fear self-preservation? Or I don't know. Did I get rid of something that I should have? It was a legit whisker, right? Anita saw it. I sent her a picture of it. I sent Alexis a picture of it too. He calls them for protection. They must be protecting you, Brown Eyed Girl says. That's what I felt. That's honestly what I felt. Actually, my friend was asking me, I was telling her about it, and she was like, what was your kind of takeaway from the dream? And I said, unfortunately, I don't really remember anything. I just remember being there, and I remembered a sense of feeling protected, like they were just on my side, like they had my back. It was really cool. Fear has no place anymore. Thank you, Tessa. That's kind of how I feel too. I kind of feel done with it. I am leveling up. I hope so. I hope that's what it is, and not that I'm just like just done. I don't feel done. I still feel very hopeful, and I still feel very like just at peace, I guess is what I would say. I feel very at peace. There isn't, like, you guys know me. I have been an emotional wreck for the last couple of years. So many ups and downs. I've been mostly able to keep it together, I'd say. And a lot of weird stuff has happened. A lot of weird stuff has happened. But I've been able to kind of like keep it together. But I don't know. I just kind of hit this breaking point kind of recently where I'm just at peace. That doesn't mean that like everything is hunky dory and I'm not. That's a really good gif of Trump writing on Hunter's head. Anyway, yeah. So you found your first cat whisker on your bed a few days ago. It's on your altar now. Oh my gosh, really? You found a whisker too? That's really cool. Sorry, getting caught up in some of these. You protect, he also attack. Hi, Joe. Good evening, V. Yeah, anyway, so I don't know what's up with me, but I just feel very at peace, and it's a good place to be. I'll take it. It's a lot better than, I know there's a lot of chaos in the world right now. And so it's another reason why, even though I'm sitting here, truth be told, like an hour ago with, no makeup and just not remembering really that I do this, not remembering that I had a YouTube channel for a minute. I'm just have to check in with you guys, because if I can share what I'm feeling with you when I'm feeling the sense of peace, even just a little bit, then I feel like I should. Because there are people that I get this sense of peace from when, I talk to them or when I'm around them or whatever. So paying it forward. I'm over fear too. I'm over putting my energy there. I'm committing to putting my energy, to the things and people I love and who love me back over people and drama. I find feathers. That's awesome. Trump just posted a video statement on the stimulus bill and all the BS in it. Oh, interesting. I'm gonna have to take a look at that. Yeah, I want to see your whisker. Send it to me. Evening, Tony from England. Where can you go for info now? Oh yeah, you guys, CJ got taken down. One by one, people keep getting taken down off of these social media sites, off of YouTube, everywhere that we're used to looking for information. And I don't know, there isn't a great place right now as far as where to get information. There is, not to say that there isn't good media. There is some good media that's doing a good job. OAN, Epoch Times. And, you know, there are still people on Twitter that are still doing the work. It just, unfortunately, a lot of the really big ones are gone now. And so it's frustrating, but at the same time, the more that stuff happens, the closer I feel to something big coming. So they can't keep at this forever. Hey, Suiterbug. Peace is from our higher self. Jump. Jump. Entering the 5th dimension. Yeah, anybody blast off yesterday? Is that why we're missing some people? Are they just in 5D now and they can no longer chat? Check out Populous Press. It's what Drudge Report used to be before it sold out. Interesting. Okay, cool. Oh, Anita is speaking to us from 5D. How is the weather in 5D, Anita? Is it raining whiskers? Who's in the painting behind me? We don't know. Just some Scottish dude. The theorizing theorist is temporarily down due to the purge. I got 2 strikes and we'll be back. Love the new show. We Are the Media with IET. Thanks, Kate. Where is Pink Patriot now? Miss you with Alara. So we took a break from that. And, you know, when I took my break from kind of everything, I was just, you know, she was very gracious about it. She now does a live show on her channel where she's interviewing people on Wednesday nights. So it's kind of the same thing. I'm not doing it with her right now. I don't know if we'll start doing that again. I don't know if she'll start doing it with someone else. But Alara has a lot of really great shows on her channel. She's starting to put out a lot more content on there. And so maybe Pink Patriot will be back. I'm not sure if I'll be a part of it or not, or what it will look like, because we're all just kind of playing around with things right now and figuring it out. You know, there are only so many slots as far as when people can go live. You know, people have to keep their day jobs, and people have other stuff that they have to do, because this isn't really like, this isn't really that sustainable. So, you know, unfortunately, every weeknight, it's kind of like there's already somebody with doing their show. It's Lil Wayne. It's Lil Wayne in the painting behind me. Modern art. Well, yeah, Alara will be on Nicole Frolick's show tonight, right? Right after this. So we will all scoot on over there after this is done at, well, I don't know, in a half hour. Mr. Fox says, it's been different. My dreams are strange. Tell me about them. My dreams have been strange too. Yeah, Alara is keeping very busy. You know, she's very driven, and she's like she's the opposite of me in that sense. She's very driven, and she's very, well, I mean, she's super creative. She's got a lot of really great ideas. And she's just really driven to like be doing this. And so kudos to her. She's definitely going to be doing a lot. I mean, keep your eye on her for sure. She's going to be doing a lot. Thank you, Nicole, Christina. Thanks, Prentice. Hi, Victoria. Yeah, Wednesday, or what today? What's today? Tuesday? Wednesday, Tuesday. Ladies are up to bat on Tuesday nights. Yes, sirree, Bob. We do need more women in this. We need more of everybody in this, right? Of course. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah, Nicole's show is really cool. Nicole is the real deal. She is, I've had readings with Nicole, and she's so spot on, and her energy is so great. I've had several readings this year from different people, and they've all been phenomenal. It's really cool. I was never really like, Yeah, I haven't had a reading by somebody in years and years and years. I used to go when I was younger, but anyway. There's never going to be a mixtape. Sorry, Dominic. Ever, ever. Huh. Yeah. Oh, I did get I got a, am I going to be able to find this? I need a longer cord. That's what I need. Did you guys see that Apple is coming out with a self-driving car? I remember I was living in Newport Beach, like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And I was driving and literally pulled up next to me was a robot driving a car. I'm not kidding. Nobody believes me. Of course I was by myself. And I went and I told everybody and they were like, that's not true. I'm like, I swear to God, like the end is nigh. And that was, like I said, 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, probably. Well, maybe not that long ago. Maybe 10 years ago. Maybe like somewhere between 7 and 10 years ago. But yeah, Apple is making a self-driving car because that's what we needed, right? I wanted to find this question that somebody asked me the other day, if I can, because I wanted to address it on here because it was a good question. It was in the comments of my it was in the comments of one of the YouTube videos. Nope. You guys. Oh my God. This is so good, by the way. I don't know if you guys saw that on my oh, there's my whisker. You're not going to be able to see that. Never mind. Memes and memes and memes. Here it is. Okay, so actually this is interesting. It's from someone named Lion's Reign. And they said, I'm curious to know how you deal with fear with your son. I don't fear much myself, but my biggest fear is something bad happening to my children. Another fear in conjunction with it is that I won't be there to protect them or save them, etc. I have faith and trust that they will be protected, but the fear still comes and goes, if that makes sense. Trying to figure out a way to stop it from entering into my mind so energy level doesn't drop from where I/we as a whole need it to be. So this was from a couple of weeks ago, and I actually wanted to address it last week or whenever it was, and then forgot. And then it's interesting that, you know, after that I had that lion being dream. And anyway, but so that is something that I have struggled with a ton, is that fear of, yeah, like it was almost the only reason why I ever felt fear, because I'm not afraid of something happening to me. Like, bring it on. I don't care. What are you gonna do? Kill me? We all die. But there has always been, I mean, like, I don't know how I could survive something happening to my son. And wait, I see something. Breaking report hidden in the 6,000 page bill that real Donald Trump is anticipated to veto is a provision that says nullifies the president's use of the Insurrection Act. I did see that. Well, what if he uses it before that comes into effect? I have no idea. But yeah, that was really interesting. Anyway, so we don't die, just our meat suit does. That's what Lawrence just said. Exactly. And so, but it's hard when you care about other people. How are you supposed to, what are we supposed to just be like, nah, whatever happens to my kid happens to my kid? That's not how we come to terms with it. But for me, what I did was I had to really, this is why I was saying last week or whenever it was, that ultimately when you get into the Great Awakening and you start figuring things out on this planet and all of the things that we've been lied to about, a lot of us tend to like go back to religion or start to find spirituality. You need that piece to ground you, because if not, all of this craziness is going to scare you, break you, bring you down. And I think for me, it was really coming to terms with what it is that I believe, which, okay, won't necessarily be the same for you guys, because we all have different ways that we view the world, where we came from, where we're going, etc. But OKC says, got to be strong for our children for sure. Absolutely, that is very important. But I understand what this person is saying, because even when you're being strong for your children, there's still that fear that is bringing you down, or that you are grappling with. Like I would put my son to bed and I would literally cry myself to sleep, and that started happening right after he was born. And a lot of it was postpartum depression for me, because it was almost like I went through such a period of time of being so selfish. I had nothing to think of other than myself. And I didn't have my son until I was 35. So I had a long time of being selfish, and a long time to establish that pattern of selfishness and not having to worry about anybody but myself. So once my son was born, it was like a complete shock. It was like, oh my God, I don't have a choice anymore. I can't be reckless. I am no longer Kate. I am my son's mom, first and foremost. So it doesn't even matter what I want. I can't even kill myself, because like when it was really bad, I didn't really think about, like, I never really thought about it in terms of like going to do it. But it definitely crossed my mind. Like there were times I'm like, I can't survive. Like, how am I going to survive this? I have no idea. And so it would cross my mind like, oh my God, you can't even kill yourself. You don't even have that choice. And it was terrifying. And so it was almost like, you know how they say, like once you have a child, it's like having your heart, on the outside of your body, which sounds like a really cute saying until you figure out what the fuck it means. Because it is terrifying. It is like, imagine having your heart outside your body. You're like, oh my God, no, don't do that. Don't spray that. Don't step on that. Don't move that. Like, it's terrifying. It does something to you. So it was beyond terrifying having a child for me. And irrationally, he was totally safe and healthy and fine. He wasn't even colicky or like crying a lot. It wasn't even like I had any reason to worry. It was just that fear set in, I believe, because of my age, because I had been selfish for so long, because I was kind of a shallow person, let's be honest, and never really thought much about anybody else. And then all of a sudden this like slap to the face of being a mother, which it's not just a slap to the face. It's a wonderful thing. But this was a real wake-up call for me, is basically what I'm saying. So how do you deal with that? Well, for me, I went on antidepressants. And then, and then after time, when I felt steadier and when I started to really get back into my own spirituality, what it is that I believe. And again, like I said, that's personal for each of us. I happen to believe in reoccurring lives. I believe in, I think most of us believe in life after death. I think no matter what, at this point, there's ample evidence of that. Whatever you think it looks like, it just is. I think I don't really know too many atheists these days. I mean, there are some edgelords out there that like to get into my Twitter mentions, but anywho, so yeah, a postpartum depression and anxiety is horrendous. Exactly. And kids, yes, kids are a complete blessing. Looking back on it, this was literally the best thing that ever happened to me. Going through my postpartum depression, well, having my son was obviously the best thing that happened to me, but it was also the biggest learning experience and the biggest growth that I've gone through in my life was having my son. And without him, I don't think I would have ever been ready for the Great Awakening. I think I still would have been one of those sleeping sheep, and I probably would have maybe died that way. I don't know. But to me, I really do feel firm in the fact that I believe that not only before we come here do we choose our parents, but we choose our plight. We choose how much we are willing to go through in this life. It's like, going to college and picking a really heavy semester with tons of, credits, or taking it easy. And I think that we all eventually have to get through, pretty much the same amount. Unless you keep messing up, then you're going to have to keep, repeating those lessons over and over again until you get it. So for me, that not only helped me in the perspective of my life, taking things in stride, realizing that the people in my life that I think are like that I thought were like evil and out to get me are actually some of the biggest blessings in my life, and have been opportunities more than anything, and have given me opportunities. And without those things, those people, those situations, you have no opportunity for growth. Well, our children, as much as we want to wrap them in bubble wrap and just like, put them up on a lily pad and keep them there, they are also here for that experience. They are also here to learn and grow. And unfortunately, in this human body, this little meat suit that we have, that comes from hardships. And so they're going to have hardships too. And whatever it is that they're going to go through, I believe they signed up for as well. Does that soothe us as parents? Maybe not. After a while, when you really, really do believe it, I think it does help. At least it's helped me. Like I said, I just was afraid of everything. I was afraid of the world. And to an irrational level, not even a normal level. And now I just kind of know everything's going to be okay. I look at my son and I just get this sense that he's here for a bigger purpose, and that he probably knows even more than I do when it comes to all this stuff. He's going to be way more prepared. Hopefully what I can give him will give him I was very lucky with my upbringing. My parents gave me a really solid ground to stand on. But I will also admit that a lot of my anxiety came from my mother. And she knows that too. She will say that. Mom, are you here? Are you in my chat, Mom? She knows it. I mean, she went through anxiety as well. And that's just how I was raised, like we're always, is there going to be an earthquake and this and that and fires and whatever. And, my mom got better about it eventually too. She didn't remain that way. So, I don't know. I think that hopefully that answered the question, at least to how I handle it. How I handle it is just knowing that this, no matter what you think, I think we can all agree that this isn't it. This life isn't it. This life is an experience that we get to come and have in order to grow. That's why some of those books that I've been sharing with you have really solidified some of those feelings in me, and have allowed me to really get rid of the attachments in my life, because all of these things that we are attached to are just of this life, of this world. And there's such a bigger picture. And once you realize that bigger picture is out there, I think it kind of calms you. Is my mom in here? You give him the feminine side of his subconscious brain. Yeah, I actually read a couple parenting books a few years ago, when I was just, I can't remember if it was before or after, like when my awakening started. I think it was maybe just before that. I kind of like caught myself getting like impatient with my 2-year-old. And I'm like, but he's 2, but I'm angry, but don't do that. And like, realizing that I had to rein it in. But then you have all these people that are like, telling you what they think. Like, you need to spank the child. Well, no, that doesn't feel right. Well, you need to do this, or you can't yell at him, or put him in timeout. No, putting him in timeout is going to make him feel isolated, blah, 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 blah. And so I started to read books because I wanted to see what other people had to say about, how to deal with that. And I want to give my son the best leg up as far as disciplining him. I don't want him to grow up to be an asshole. Like, our job as parents is to raise people, human beings that other people will love and that will go out into the world and do good things. It's not just to like keep them happy and like, whatever. You are cultivating another human being. You're not only just keeping them safe. So I read a book. What was it? I think it was called There Are No Bad Kids. And it was, it was talking about their kind of primitive brain, and they're not being bad or acting out, like they literally have this little like Cro-Magnon brain that can't handle all of these things. And so when they're upset and you get upset, it just raises their level of, and so it basically what I gathered from this book was to get down on his level and to speak to him. And one of the things, the reason you just reminded me of that is because it became profound to me, realizing that the way that I speak to him when he's upset is going to be how he speaks to himself when he grows up, when he's upset. So, we all know those people that are really hard on themselves when they do something wrong, like, oh man, I can't believe you did that, blah, 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 blah. That came from their parents. Whereas I want him to grow up and be able to laugh, when he makes mistakes. Obviously, if you hurt somebody, you take responsibility for it. But so anyway, what I'd learned to do was to get down on his level and calmly speak to him. And it actually helped me as well. Anyway, I really liked that book. And so I'll find out there and share it with you guys if anybody's interested. But I believe it's called There Are No Bad Kids. But I read two, and I don't remember which one that came from, but they were both good. So anyway. I hear it's this dinosaur brain that enables, I don't know about that. But I don't know about that. But there's something wrong with those people, that's for sure. And the interesting thing is that when he was like 2, I was messing around, well, not messing around, but I was like trying timeouts. So I was like, well, whatever. I don't want to spank him. I don't want to scream at him. So whatever, I'll give the timeout thing a shot. And that didn't really feel right either. I don't know. It was weird. And it's going to be different. It's different for every parent. It's different for every kid. But for me, I noticed that just like getting down and talking to him calmly and rationally and hugging him and like telling him it's okay. Like when he's upset, it calms his nerves. It calms my nerves. And he's like, he never does anything bad. I mean, he just doesn't. And so I really, and he used to. So I really think it's this. It's not that I have this perfect child. I just really think that this works, at least for us. Thank you. Yeah, I think Mythical, I think he is going to be a champion. New Trump message. Timeouts can make a child feel more isolated. Yeah, that's I would always be like bummed, I would always be bummed when he'd be in timeouts. It just didn't feel right. And go with your gut too, because everything you do as a parent, you're going to get shamed for. It doesn't matter what it is. From the moment before they're even born, what kind of birth are you going to have? Are you going to circumcise? Are you going to breastfeed? Are you going to let them cry it out? Are you going to vaccinate? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? And no matter what it is you choose, there will be people screaming at you on the other side, telling you that you're a bad parent. And so you just got to go with what's in your gut and then keep it to yourself. Forget everybody else. If you scream at him all the time, you will not know the difference. Yeah, I did have a friend like that who was like always screaming at her kids. And yeah, I was like, what's the difference? How are they like, when she'd scream, they were unfazed. They were just completely unfazed. Of course, everybody around is like, oh, but I agree with that. You give yourself timeouts. Yep, I give myself timeouts too. I like my alone time, that's for sure. Trump said he wants to increase the stimulus to 2,000 from 600. Yeah, that's such a joke. Have one where no birth certificate is Raya. I don't know what just happened, but I get that. And I think every, am I back? Can I get a 5x5 if I am unfrozen? Hopefully I had like one. Usually when it freezes, I have like one eye shut. I don't know why my eyes don't blink at the same time, but apparently they don't. Back now. Okay, cool. Every kid is different. Some kids, I think, yeah, probably do need to be yelled at, but not all the time. I mean, when you can rationalize with a child instead, choose that. But yeah, I'm not saying I never yell at my kid. In fact, I would say when choosing a name for your child, make sure it's something that you don't mind screaming all the time. Because you will be yelling that word quite often. But I just mean like not getting confrontational, especially when they're really little, Like I started feeling very lost when he was about 2.5. Because that's when I was like, okay, well, I need to start disciplining him. What am I going to do? I did countdowns from 5. When I got to 0, I always did what I said I would do, rarely got to 0. Depending on what the violation was, I would add additional punishments if needed. That's a really good one too. And I'm glad you brought that up because I started doing that, but I would be like 1, 2, and my brother was over one time. He's like, you need to count backwards, right? Otherwise, you'll just keep counting forever. I was like, oh, that's a good point. Anyway, I do that sometimes. Like if he's not being speedy enough, I start to do the like 3 and it always works. I never get to 1. Hi from Scotland. Looks like my tartan behind you. Oh, is that you behind me? Did we solve the mystery of who Mr. Gorgeous is? Am I frozen again? Yeah, I mean, when I was younger, I definitely feared my parents. Not in a bad way, in a good way. Let me see if I should reword that. I mean, I did. I didn't fear them as if they were going to kill me, but I didn't want to disappoint them. I feared them getting angry. Hey, UFO Mark, at me. And so that did wonders. And that lasted, pretty much my whole life. I remember being, in middle school and all of my friends dropping acid on a Tuesday during the middle of the day on a golf course. We skipped school. And I remember thinking to myself, I am so dead if my parents catch me. And so I didn't do it. My parents took me to Japan when I was 6 months old, lived there for 2 years. My oldest memory I have is walking out into the snow and just under 3 in Japan. Japan, as far as I have never been to Japan, but I have some Japanese friends. My sister's been to Japan. She used to have a Japanese pen pal. But it's a very respectful culture, honor is big. You don't want to dishonor your family by, being a messed up person. And that's something that's kind of gotten away from us. Oh man, I just thought of something that actually might make me cry. When my grandmother, my grandma was so cool, my mom's mom. She was a week shy of being 101 or 102. And she lived, it wasn't a nursing home. It was like an apartment complex that was, for older people. But she lived alone until the day she died. She was so like with it and smart, and she read a ton. And, even though she was deaf her whole life, and she was also going blind at the end of her life, which was really sad because, like I said, she loved to read. But she was so elegant. She was also really funny. Anyway, I love my grandma. And when she died, she had a neighbor across from her that was Japanese. And after my grandmother died, he came over and my mom opened the door and he just bowed, like this man who was probably maybe 100 years old himself, just bowed like almost in half and just stayed there. And it was just like, so, I don't know. It was just very touching. Anyway, I love that. Like, I love that honor. I love the, I love how much they honor the older generations. You know, they don't just discard people when they get older and think of them as useless. They really honor the wisdom that comes with age, and I just think it was really beautiful. My grandma just passed this year. She was 96. Her funeral was 10 days to the day after grandpa's. Oh man. Yeah, that happens a lot where you know, older couples that have been together forever, one will pass away and then the next one is coming right after them. I had a really Filipinos do that also. You know, I think I think most cultures treat their elderly people better than the United States does. You kind of would have to. We're so obsessed with youth, and like, where does it get us? Look at all of these knuckleheads that we make famous. It's really, really sad. And then just to see this, you know, I remember when it kind of struck me, the generation that we were losing, you know, over the last decade of these people. I mean, my grandmother was older than aluminum foil, you guys. She had seen so much. She had been around since the invention of the automobile. I mean, like everything. Imagine what my grandma saw in her life. And not only that, she was an avid reader. She read everything. And so think of all that knowledge that went with her and what a treasure trove she was. And then we've got people like, I don't even know, but like, look at who we make famous. It's really sad. My dad is 95 and still drives. God bless him and everyone else on the road. Still living on the family farm by herself in hermit mode. Is that your grandma, Mark? It makes sense. Parents throw their kids into schools, have someone else raise them. It's no surprise the kids do the same to them by throwing them into nursing homes. It really is sad, the disconnection that we've seen in the family unit. And, you know, people go out there and they pat themselves on the back for doing charity for people that they've never met, or giving money away to, you know, charities. They don't even really know where their money is going. And yet they'll have somebody in their family that really needs help, or is really lonely, or, you know, something, and they just completely ignore it. So, you know, that was another thing that I learned about Japanese culture from my Japanese friend, was that because you don't dishonor your family, if you've got, you know, an uncle who's an alcoholic, or you've got a brother who's a drug addict, or you take care of them. That's why you don't see it's part of the reason you don't see such a such a large homeless population there, and why you do see it here, is because people are just patting themselves on the back and not really taking care of who they should be. Like, start in your home first. Who is it? Mother Teresa, which I don't know about her, but anyway, it was a good quote. Like, if you want to change the world, start at home. I like that. Nikola Tesla quote number 12: I come from a very wiry and long-lived race. Some of my ancestors have been centurions. And one of them lived 129 years. I am determined to keep the record and please myself. Well, he didn't live that long, but yeah, people, it's interesting to look back on some of the history and see how at certain points in our history, how long people did used to live. And you have to kind of wonder. Oh, that was one of the things they covered in, which one? One of the books I just read, was that, you know, our lifespan here on Earth is so much shorter than it's supposed to be. That's why they look at us. We're basically kids still when we die, even if we die when we're in our 90s. And it's why, you know, we do have a harsher experience as far as growth. But imagine if we lived for 500 years and had all of that time. You know how many books I could read, you guys? You know how much time? And then, like, if your child stayed young for like, imagine having more years with your child as a child. I want that. It is 6 o'clock now, and so I don't want to step on Nicole and Alara's time. So thank you, Mark. Did you just put the link in there? Thank you so much. But on the other hand, sometimes I think, like, for some reason, everyone in my family lives forever. You can't kill us with a stick. And so I know that, and I take better care of myself than most of the people, you know, my grandpa used to live off of raw bacon and mayonnaise sandwiches, and I don't. So I'm like, I'll probably live a long time. And part of me is like, thinks that is a nightmare. I don't want to watch everybody that I love die, but I guess it's a blessing. Who knows? Anyway, you guys, big love to you. I won't probably be back this week with IET for We the Media because it's Christmas, wouldn't you know? But I will be back next week. Oh, maybe we'll do our thing Sunday. I don't know. Watch my Twitter and I'll keep you guys posted. But other than that, I'll be back next Tuesday. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a beautiful week. And I'll see you guys next week.